Welcome back. Last episode we covered the making of a simple point placemark. In this episode we will make polygons. First, let's briefly review the minimum elements for a point placemark by making one for Madrid, Spain. For a point we have 2 lines of header information, then placemark. Name it something. We'll name this one Madrid, Spain. We will define it as a point. And under point, we need coordinates. A good way to look up coordinates for certain places is Wikipedia. And since we're doing Madrid, Spain, just type Madrid. In the top right corner we have the coordinates, but they're not in the format that we need them for our KML file. But if you click on the link in Wikipedia, you'll come to a page like this, and it provides the calculation for you. So copy that and paste it into our text editor. As we covered last time, the KML files need the longitude first and then the latitude, which is the opposite of what we got from the website. So I'll highlight the longitude, cut, paste, and I'll just write 40.4 out, no space in between them, and close the coordinates tag and get rid of this extraneous material here. Okay, now we have to close out every tag that we open, starting with point placemark and KML. Save the file and mark. And here's Madrid, marked with the default yellow pushpin. To demonstrate polygons, let's draw a square around Madrid. To do a box around Madrid, we will make a new placemark under the old placemark but above the ending of the KML tag. So placemark. We will name it box around Madrid. Because this is a polygon, the name will not be displayed. Instead of having point like we did in the earlier one, we will open a tag called Polygon. Polygon requires a few more subtags. Outer boundary is. Below that, linear ring. And below that, coordinates. Now let's take a break from this file and explain how the signs of the values of coordinates work. As we mentioned in the last episode, in expressing the coordinates, west is considered negative and the east is considered positive. So we will put a minus sign over here towards the west and a plus sign to the east. Let's draw the vertical axis. In this, north is positive and south is negative. So we'll draw a plus sign up here to the north and a minus sign down to the south. So if we have the coordinates for one placemark and we want to make a placemark to the north of it, we would just add to the latitude value. If we wanted the coordinates for a placemark to the south, we would subtract from the latitude. To make a placemark to the northwest, we would subtract from the first number, which is the longitude, and add to the second number, which is the latitude. To make a placemark to the northeast, we would add to both the longitude and the latitude. To go southwest, we would subtract from both numbers. And to go southeast, we would add to the longitude and subtract from the latitude. To fill in the coordinates for our square, we need to put a longitude-latitude pair for each corner we want the square to have. To do that, let's start with the northwest. We need to subtract 2 degrees from the longitude and add 2 degrees to the latitude. So, negative 5.683, and to add to the longitude, 42.4. For the next corner, we'll add 2 degrees to both original numbers. So negative 1.683 and 42.4. For the southeast, add to the longitude and subtract from the latitude. So, negative 1.683 and 40.4 minus 2 is 38.4. We'll subtract from both original numbers for the southwest, which means negative 5.683 by 38.4. To finish it up, copy and paste the first pair and then place it as the last pair, and then end the coordinates tag. We also have to close the other open tags. So close linear ring, close outer boundary is, close polygon, close placemark. KML is already closed, so save the file. If we drag the same file back into Google Earth, we are telling it to refresh to reflect the new information. So we should see our square. But we're getting an error. Only a single root feature is allowed within a KML tag. We'll go back into get it and explain what that is. As we saw in the error message, we're only allowed to have one root element. However, we have two. We have 2 place marks, one for Madrid, Spain, and one for the box around Madrid. The solution to this problem is found in using containers. There are 2 types of containers for KML files, documents and folders. Containers can contain place marks and other containers, so there can be a complex hierarchy of containers. Documents can contain folders, and folders can contain documents, but generally, the document is used at the top level, and folders are used for the lower level hierarchy. Let's change this file to have a document container containing both place marks. To do that, we'll add a document tag above the first place mark. The document can have a name on its own, so we will call it maps for now. The document tag also has to be closed, and since it's opened right after KML, it can be closed before the ending of KML. Now let's try dragging the file in again. This time it's visible, both the point and the polygon. And if you look over to the left, they're both grouped in a document called maps. Both the individual place marks and the document itself have check marks, which you can use to toggle what is visible and what isn't on the map. Let's get rid of that square and replace it with an actual shape of Spain. In a future video, I'll show a few places where you can find good lists of coordinates for country shapes and other polygons, but for now I have already copied them into a text file. So I'm going to copy all of this, select all, copy, and paste. Now let's put both of these place marks in a container called Spain. We'll use a folder for that. So under the document, I will open a folder, name it Spain, and I'll change the box around Madrid name to Shape of Spain. And since we want both elements to be in that folder, we will close the folder after the second place mark. To demonstrate having multiple containers, let's make a second folder and name it Iran. To make a placemark for Tehran, let's copy and paste the Madrid placemark into the Iran folder. We'll rename this Tehran, Iran. Save the file. We can find the Tehran coordinates the same way we found the coordinates for Madrid. Wikipedia, type Tehran, click on the coordinates, and copy the coordinates expressed as decimals. And we can overwrite the old coordinates and put the new Tehran coordinates in. That will suffice for the Tehran placemark. Now for the next one, we'll make another placemark. We'll name this one Shape of Iran. It will be a polygon with outer boundary is linear ring coordinates. Now just like I did for Spain, I copied over all of the coordinates for the Shape of Iran in another file already. And I'll end coordinates, end linear ring, and outer boundary is, and polygon, and end the place mark. The tabs are a bit off, so I'm going to fix that real quick. And there we go. But, as you remember, we opened a folder called Iran right after the Spain folder, and we have to close that before we close out the document. That should work. Let's try it in Google Earth. And we made a mistake. We forgot to switch around the coordinates. We have the latitude first and then the longitude. We need to reverse them, so I'm just going to quickly do that. 51.423056, comma 35.696111, and get rid of this stuff. Now it should work. Now let's try dragging this into Google Earth. Simple polygon.kml. What we should see is both Spain and Iran with points for Madrid and Tehran. And we do. We see Madrid and Spain are in their proper place, as are Tehran and Iran. We have them well organized into separate folders, if you look over here to the left. The polygons are both white, which is the default style for a polygon, just as the yellow pushpin is the default style for a single point. In the next video, we will begin talking about customizing the style.